Imagine you teach Claude a great way to review a contract today. Tomorrow, you want the same method, the same checks, and the same output quality, without explaining everything again. That is the problem a skill solves. In this video, we will see how Claude's skill creator turns an idea into a reusable skill, how the files fit together, how the skill is tested, and how it becomes a package that can be used again and again. Now, Claude's skill creator is itself a skill. Its job is to create new skills, modify existing ones, measure how well they perform, and improve them through evidence. A skill is not a new model, and it is not traditional software by itself. Think of it as an operating playbook, packaged with optional tools and resources. It tells Claude when the playbook is relevant, what process to follow, which supporting files to use, and what a successful output should look like. Skill Creator helps build that playbook systematically, instead of relying on guesswork. The workflow has a simple governing loop. First, capture the intent. What should Claude do? When should the skill activate? And what output is expected? Second, draft the skill. Third, create 2 or 3 realistic test prompts. Fourth, compare the results with and without the skill. Then review both objective checks and human feedback. Fifth, revise the instructions based on what failed. Repeat until the results are consistently useful. Finally, validate the folder and package the finished skill. The crucial idea is that a skill is engineered through iteration, not completed in one prompt. Every skill must contain exactly one file named skill.md. It has 2 parts. At the top is YAML front matter, short metadata between 3 dash markers. The required name identifies the skill. The required description is especially important because it tells Claude both what the skill does and when to use it. In effect, the description is the front door. If it is vague, the skill may never be consulted. Below the front matter is the markdown instruction body, the workflow, decision rules, output structure, examples, and directions to supporting resources. Write instructions in clear action language, but explain why important controls exist. This helps the model reason rather than mechanically copy rules. Around skill.md, add only the resources the skill genuinely needs. Put deterministic or repetitive code in scripts. Put detailed guidance, taxonomies, or domain rules in references so Claude reads them only when relevant. Put templates, icons, fonts, or starter files used in the final output inside assets. A more advanced skill may include agent role instructions, such as a grader or comparator, but that is optional. During development, evals can hold test prompts and expected outcomes. Evals are evidence for building the skill. They are normally excluded from the final package. The skill creator skill itself is more elaborate. It features grader, comparator, and analyzer agents, schema references, evaluation and packaging scripts, a review interface, assets, and a license. The design rule is simple: one purpose per folder and clear directions from skill.md about when each resource should be used. Claude does not need every file and context all the time. Skill design uses progressive disclosure. Level 1 is the name and description. This small metadata layer is always visible and helps Claude decide whether the skill applies. Level 2 is the skmd body, loaded when the skill triggers. The guidance suggests keeping it under roughly 500 lines where practical. Level 3 contains bundled resources, loaded or executed only as needed. This is why a large policy manual belongs in references, not inside the main instruction file. If a reference exceeds about 300 lines, add a content section so Claude can navigate it efficiently. Consider a skill called contract review. Its description should trigger when a user asks to review, compare, or summarize contract terms, even if the user does not explicitly say the word skill. The skm.md body defines the sequence. Identify the contract type, extract key clauses, compare them with the approved playbook, rate deviations, and produce an executive summary. A references folder might contain clause standards and jurisdiction-specific guidance. A script could extract repeated clause headings consistently. An asset could be the approved word report template. Now each component has a clear job. Claude reasons through the review, the script handles repeatable mechanics, The references supply detailed rules, and the asset keeps the output consistent. After the first draft, create 2 or 3 realistic test prompts and store them in evals/evals.json. Test the situations the skill is likely to face, including edge cases. Where the environment supports independent agents, run each prompt in 2 lanes at the same time, one with the skill and one baseline without it. For an existing skill, the baseline may be the old version. While those runs execute, define objective assertions. For example, every required clause is identified, each risk has evidence, and the report follows the approved structure. Capture timing and token data as each run completes. Subjective qualities, such as whether the explanation feels clear and professional, should remain a human judgment rather than a forced numeric score. When the runs finish, grade the objective assertions, aggregate pass rates, time and token use, and show the outputs to the user in the review viewer. This human should see the examples before the skill rewrites itself. Feedback might say that the report missed governing law, used too much text, or failed to explain why a clause is risky. Improve the skill using 4 principles. Generalize from the feedback instead of overfitting one example. Keep the main prompt lean. Explain why each instruction matters. And watch for repeated work across test cases. If every run independently builds the same helper script, bundle that script once. Then rerun the same tests in a new iteration and compare again. A high-quality skill still fails if Claude does not know when to use it. Skill Creator can optimize the description using a separate trigger evaluation. It creates about 20 realistic queries. Roughly half should trigger the skill, and half should not. The negative examples should be difficult near misses, not unrelated questions. The optimization loop evaluates each query multiple times, keeps a held-out test set, and proposes revised descriptions from the failures. The supplied workflow uses a 60-40 train test split, 3 runs per query, and up to 5 improvement iterations by default. The best description is selected using held-out performance, which reduces the risk of memorizing the test set. The final result should trigger broadly enough to be useful, but precisely enough to avoid activating on the wrong task. Before packaging, the validator checks the structure. There must be exactly one skill.md. The file must begin with valid YAML front matter and include name and description. The 9 uses lowercase kebab case, is no more than 64 characters, and cannot begin or end with a hyphen or contain double hyphens. The description must be text, cannot contain angle brackets, and is limited to 1,024 characters. Only approved front matter keys are allowed. If validation passes, the packaging script creates the distributable .skill archive. Development clutter, such as root-level evals, node modules, Python cache files, and operating system metadata is excluded. The package should contain only what the skill needs to operate. Claude Skill Creator works because it treats instructions as a product that must be designed, tested, and improved. Skill.md is the control center. Supporting folders separate executable logic, detailed knowledge, and output assets. Progressive disclosure protects context. Realistic evaluations reveal whether the skill improves results. Human feedback keeps quality grounded. Validation protects the package. So when you create your next skill, remember this sequence. Define the capability, design the structure, prove the behavior, improve the evidence, and package only what matters. That is how a good prompt becomes a dependable, reusable skill.